me deixa louca. O teu toque é algo de outro mundo. Me vira de costas, me puxa o cabelo, me diz que eu sou freaky e me deixa bem quente. Agora é minha vez, vou-te fazer o que ninguém fez. Recuperar o fôlego. Sei que estás a suar, mas não me apagaste o fogo. Não me digas que não, sei que também queres. Aqui vamos para o segundo round. Vou-te mostrar como se faz. Tu não sabes do que eu sou capaz. Diz para mim que estás a gostar e mata o meu desejo. Agora é tua vez, chama por mim, faz como ninguém fez. Tu és meu. Amor a noite toda, eu quero estar contigo a noite toda, te acariciar a noite toda, fazer amor a noite toda, baby. Te acariciar a noite toda, baby, abusa de mim. Yeah, baby, yeah, baby, yeah, baby. Abusa de mim. Toda noite. Fazer amor a noite toda. Te acariciar a noite toda. Fazer amor a noite toda. Estar contigo a noite toda. Fazer amor. Acariciar a noite toda. Toda noite, toda noite. Oh. Toda noite, toda noite. Toda noite, baby.
Mic check, mic check, mic check. Welcome to. This is so strange. I'm not used to it at all. Listen, let me turn on the AC first of all. All right. This is so strange. Wow. As you can see, I'm testing some new headphones and I'm not used to this sound at all. Like the ones I used to use are these ones that I got on Amazon from some, I don't even know what the brand is, some Chinese brand. And I mean, listen, we had a great time together, but now I moved to something more professional. So I'm testing them, but listen, I'm not used to having so much bass in my voice. But to listen to music is amazing. So these are the Sennheiser HD. Oh, let me do that. Yeah. Sennheiser i100 Pro. I almost bought the 200, but I want to test first the 100 model just to see how it looks, how it sounds. How it sounds and how it looks, because the transparent model in the ear is something that on black skin. Oh wait, let me see. Let me try just to show you. You see, on black skin, you see, so it was okay. It was not something crazy, but I'm starting to try different models of headphones for my Lord. How do I put that? All right, there you go. There you go. Okay, first of all, they are very comfortable and you almost don't see them. It's just that there's so much bass in my voice. But when I was listening to the sound of the intro of Vandame, it sounded amazing. Like, you have clarity, bass lines, everything comes out. The mix is perfect in this. I think I could even try to mix with that. But listen, we'll see how it goes. Welcome to Club Shada episode 322. This show is brought to you by Shadaware. Hey, Anan, thank you so much for a super chat of 20 euros, I guess. We have a new stream royalty for the month of September. Anan, the new stream royalty, thank you so much for supporting the show, my sister. This show is brought to you by Anan Saudi and all our sponsors. Thank you so much for your support. Master Électronique, vraiment, avant c'était toi le grand sponsor, mais vraiment, les femmes t'ont dépassé, tu vois. Vraiment, tu as changé. Je sais pas qui est la femme qui t'a appauvri, mais bon, on est ensemble. This show is brought to you by Shadaware, the gods of good fortune. It is 10:47 here in Lisbon, Portugal. I'm almost on time. Listen, I'm getting slowly arriving to this time where I can start the show at 10:30. And I think it's great because if I start at 10:30 and I end around 11:30, 11:45, midnight, it's amazing for me. Now that I have my own office, it kind of makes sense. Something is, I don't know, it's me, it's my imagination. Oh, no, okay, it's just a normal effect of 3D. So listen, I hope everybody's doing great. I hope everybody's in great spirits. Everything is great here. I'm still almost completely moved in. The whole family, we've been in this apartment for a week now. We're loving it. I hope everybody's great today. As a request from Mr. Respect ALC, we're doing a Q&A session where you can ask any question and about anything, and I reply. Why is this so big? There it is. Yeah. So, CK Control, what up? How you doing? I hope you're doing good. La milliardaire, comment ça va? I hope you're doing good. Sabrina, I hope you doing great. Mamourdier, much love in Senegal. What's good, Izan? MK Proud, what up, brother? Those beats are fire. I'm probably gonna use like half of them. Keep all these beats for me. Merci. Emery, what up, brother? How you doing? Anan, I hope you're doing great. Merci, merci. Bonne rentrée à toi aussi. À tous tes enfants, je sais que tu en as au moins 6. Free Thinker, what up? I hope you're doing great. Le son de l'intro, il s'appelle Todanoit de Vandame. Todanoit de l'album Vandame que j'ai produit en... je sais plus quelle année, mais c'est un son de 2000... Il est sorti quand cet album? Je vais te dire ça tout de suite. Je t'envoie le lien Spotify en même temps. Sorti en 2012. Problème de nous, notre problème, c'est qu'on était tellement en avance sur tout le monde que bon. Aujourd'hui, les gens découvrent, mais nous, on est là depuis. All right. Je mets le lien dans la description. All right. Tonight is a special Q&A session. So we have 1 hour of, questions and answers. You can ask me questions about anything. Why are the comments so big? Yeah, you can ask me question about anything. Maybe it's the new update. Who knows? I don't know. Yes, you can ask questions about anything, and let's roll. So go ahead, ALC. You can start because this whole thing was your idea. So tell me, ask me anything. I'm here, and you can ask me questions in English, in French, or in Portuguese. I will answer in the language that you ask. All right. And after that, you will translate for the other people. Oh, I forgot my bottle of water. Non, toi tu es mon disciple numéro 1, vraiment. Il y en a 2-3 là qui m'ont bien inspiré. Who's ordering stuff at this time? I need to call my wife. Give me a second. Why is my wife not replying to me? Anyway.
Chamou?
Sim.
Sim?
Quem tá na porta?
É a comida do dia, chegou.
Ah, ok. Mas, faz favor. Podes me trazer uma garrafa assim? Ou mandar a
O que era para ser, mãe?
Não, precisa de uma garrafa.
Ok. Sim.
Manda alguém, please.
Ele é mãe.
Okay, thank you. I love having an office. When my wife's family arrive and they start making noise, I come to my boudoir and nobody. Merci.
De rien.
Qu'est-ce que t'as commandé à manger?
J'ai commandé un McDonald's.
Ok.
Non, un Pizza Hut.
Ouais.
Bon live.
Merci. All right. Where are we? Among all the artists you have worked with, how many have you kissed? Yo, what kind of question is that? What kind of question is that? All right, listen. Oh, wait. So wait a minute. Are you talking about the artists that I work with that I produce in my label, or just artists that I work with? I did a beat for them, because it's not the same thing. But I have a rule, and the reason why I have this rule is because of experience, right? My rule is when I work with somebody, I don't want to mix business and personal stuff, even friendship, because after that, you cannot do business and do business in the right way if there's emotion involved, right? So I tend to try to never mix both things. Now, I learned from experience, of course, meaning that I used to not, I kind of early understood that I should not mix business and pleasure. Now, there are some people that I had maybe something with before, and then when we started working, that was before. So this happened too. But if I count, I would say 1, 2, 3. I think that's it. Listen, I don't believe that artists should be together anyway. So and I was never trying to be, I don't like this mingling between artists, all like bouillabaisse spaghetti. I don't like that. I prefer when we work together, and when I'm at work, I'm at work, and when I'm outside, I'm outside. So did I had stuff? Listen, I would even say that even artists that I don't work with, I don't have that many memories of me being on tour with an artist from another label and doing something together. Like I already had so much choice anyway that I already preferred making it simple, because it can become awkward. To give you an example, there's this girl that I used to I had something with her, another guy that I know, another artist. Like she went around a lot of artists, let's say like this. Then she became famous. All right. Then she started dating seriously one guy that was famous in the Zouk industry. One day, she was backstage before a show with her boyfriend. I was there. Another singer that had her was there. Then another guy was there. Then a dancer was there too. Then another guy was there. Then a friend of another guy who also, we were all in the same place. And the guy was there like, yeah, my girl, da, da, da. And everybody was like, so I don't like these moments. So I try to separate everything. So yeah, I would say 3. Unless I forgot some. Yeah, unless I forgot somebody, probably only 3. And only, now all 3 of them are famous. But yeah, it is what it is. Next question. Average monthly earning for something going on, 5K, 10K, or 15, 30K. Just something going on. No, it's more, I think, I would say, let me calculate. 3,000 by 9K. Just that song is around 9K. I'm trying to push it to arrive to 10, then 15. But yeah. And it's very interesting with something going on. What is happening is that because it's generating so much money, I'm actually in a position of I'm in a position of force. I don't know how you say it but I'm in a position where all these labels are coming to me, asking to me if we can collaborate, and I can say yes or no depending on the projects. That's what's interesting. And I'm having a lot of people who want to do remixes of the song, or people who want to do different versions, sample it, try to make a hit of an old song. The difference is the song is a hit right now. So I'm in a position where I can say no, and I can tell people, listen, unless you're gonna bring me an extra 5 to 10K a month from your version, I don't see why I would share my money with you. So it's very interesting. It's good. All of them label of it. I'm not sure what you meant by that, but like I said, I don't. Okay, none of them while they were on my label. Wait, let me see. One was never on my label. She got famous on somebody else's label. The other two, one, it was 15 years before we worked together. So it was really like after water run under the bridge that we finally started working together. And because it was like a long 3-year on and off relationship, something serious. And the other one, yeah, it was just, I mean, that was that girl that we all met in the club with her boyfriend. That one, it was same thing. It was a few years before we even considered working together. So at a point, there was a moment where I looked at her and I was like, hey, listen, you should do this. And she was like, yeah, but how? I said, listen, come to the studio, let's do this. And then that's when we started working together. And before working together, I said, listen, whatever happened in the past, like, has nothing to do with today. But I prefer not having anything in terms of these type of collections. When I work with somebody, it's a headache. Trust me, it's a nightmare. Especially when you work with women, you don't want to have anything awkward, anything in the studio when they're gonna mix everything, and if they pissed at you for something, then they don't want to work on something. It happened to me when I'm like, hey, listen, record this, and the person is like, nah, I don't like your idea, and you're like, huh? I'm paying you. I'm not paying you to ask you if you like or not, and it's awkward. Listen, I already went in a position where I had to take somebody and take a plane ticket and send her away 10,000 kilometers when I paid her and I made her come, but she was being so difficult because of mixing everything that I was like, you know what? Pack your bags. Took her to the airport, and then we didn't speak for years. But me, I don't mix. The thing is this, in my head, I don't mix. I compartmentalize everything. There's this, there's that. When I'm working, I'm working. If you come and you bring whatever is here inside of work, you fired. And that's exactly what I did. And to not arrive to this position, I stopped mixing like in the years 2000 and 2004. I was like, nah, never again. Listen, all singers are crazy anyway. Ezekiel, what up? Yeah, bro, ask your question. It's all good. we can have a one-on-one, but if anybody else has questions, let's go. Let me see. What's next? What would you do if you found out your wife has cheated on you? I mean, we would have a conversation and either end or continue. Listen, it's something that it already happened to us, all of us, men in general. I've been in this situation on both sides where I cheated or I've been cheated on forever. So it's not because it's a wife that is going to be different. It's the same thing. You were disappointed in the person, and you ask yourself usually if it is worth continuing. What do you have? What is the investment you have in life together? Is it worth going forward together and trying to forgive or going forward, or do you end there? And sometimes the person just tells you, yeah, I'm ready to end. So, it really depends. But I don't know what you would do, but I believe in every relationship, what matters more is how much time you invested. And do you have kids? Do you don't have kids? Do you have investments together? Did you buy a house together? All these things will make things different. I have a friend that was married decades with somebody, and then shit hit the fan, and they had like houses together, children together, businesses together, money together, and it became a mess because, you know, the person that you trust is now trying to get all your money and stuff, and it's hard, especially when you have children together. So I try to always protect my investment in terms of business, and my money is my money. And after that, yeah, the investments, you know, you have emotional investment together with people. So if you realize that it's time to finish, it's time to finish. And if you can repair relationships, you repair relationships. I believe that you have to be adult in everything. I'm not an emotional person, so I always try to understand what happened, whatever the situation. Of course it hurts, but you see with time if you can continue, or maybe you just separate. But sometimes people separate and then they get back together. So I believe this is always a hard situation for everybody, and there's a lot of husbands that cheated on their wives and the wives stayed because, you know, sometimes you just say sorry and it wasn't worth it, and then you continue. Ezekiel, I have a question. What happened with Section Zouk? That's a shame that this big record label doesn't exist anymore. Harold has 70% of the Zouk artists. Well, Harold did a lot of mistakes, I believe, and he didn't protect himself from his own artists and his own investments. And I think he wanted to be hands-on too much. I believe that when you are a small label, like mine, for example, and you do everything, when your label grows and you become bigger, you have to start giving power down and going up, and not giving so much access to the artist directly. And I believe his main mistake was mixing everything, wanting to be everywhere and playing favoritism a little bit in some places, some labels, some artists. And I think he did great things, but really that label imploded from inside, from getting bad actors inside, and at the same time not understanding that when it's time to expand, you don't have to just expand by bringing a bunch of new artists and trying to have the whole market. You have to be able to have A&Rs, different people like me and others, give them the power to handle everything. Because if you think of Universal, for example, even if you have like a ton of artists signed there, you have 2,000 people that are working on these artists. So he kept signing people, but he continued to want to handle everything himself, including the different labels he was working with. He was still wanting to control everything. And guys like me who are completely independent, I was trying to get more control, and he was blocking it because he was scared maybe that maybe he didn't want me to find out about a lot of business things. And at a point, you feel tired because you realize that if you do a great job, if it's 5 of us and you do a great job with 5 of us, then it's 10 of us. You continue to do a great job, but now it's 20 of us, and now only 10 of us feel like you're doing a great job. It's time for you to hire people so you can handle 20 people. And I think the label Section Zouk didn't prepare themselves for the expansion, and at the same time they were spending a lot of money because they were making a lot of money from CD sales. But when there was a transition from CD to digital, they didn't handle it well. To give you an example, this YouTube channel where all the music videos from my label reside, I started it in 2005 when YouTube started. And since 2005, I was telling him, you have to put all the videos from your label in the Section Zouk YouTube channel. And imagine, until today, there is no Section Zouk YouTube channel. This is a blatant mistake. This is vraiment erreur de débutant. And the problem was, a lot of times I was telling him what to do because I can see the future, but nobody wanted to listen to me. So it's very frustrating. And at a point, every idea I was using for Sushi Raw was first idea that I was giving for Section Zouk. I was telling them, hey, we should do this. And everybody was saying, yeah. And then I was like, okay, if you don't do it, I'm going to do it for myself. So hiring my own photograph, buying my own cameras to shoot videos instead of paying videos, having my own YouTube channel, doing the digital distribution. Believe Digital came in 2005 or 6. I don't remember when they were really starting, like when it was like the beginning of Believe. They came to us telling us, hey, listen, we would love to put you inside of the digital distribution. And the guy said no. So I went to them and I said, listen, Sushi Raw, I'm interested. And I'm still with Believe today. So you see, a lot of small mistake from somebody who was used to a business model that could not move to the next version of the business model. But that's a long story. I could do a 4-episode, 1 hour live, like explaining the whole thing, because there was a lot of things. There was a lot of, also there was like the vibe changed as some people start coming in. Some people, you know, when you are in a small label and everybody's friends, it's cool. But then money start going in, and a lot of people start wanting to come because of that money. And then you got people who start trying to compete inside of the label, people who steal stuff inside of your musical session, stuff like that made it that's why I stopped going to their studio to record. I started recording at home. That's what I built my own studio for my artists, because you would have Nicole's, for example, when he would go to the studio, he would open your sessions just to see what you are doing and to take some samples and some stuff in your songs so you can use in his songs, like stuff like that. Like you like, yo, you start understanding that, yo, you have enemies inside of your own house. And that's when I was like, okay. So around 2008, I was like, all right, it's time to go. But that's a long. I think I talked about these things a little bit. All right, next question. You have a lot of questions, like a lot. All right, who's next? Is Sushi Row Records the dad of Organized Bambino? No, Sushi Row Records is actually Organized Bambino. It's just the same label that just changed names. At a point, I was like, Organized Bambino. Well, I mean, listen, I still love the Organized Bambino name, and I think I still have the logo. Let me go to my logo folder and see if I still have my Organized Bambino logo. Let me see. Logo. Let me see. 2000 and... I don't find it. I'm sure I have it somewhere. I have all the versions of my logo, but I remember, no, it was in a CD cover. So I was in a CD cover from back in the days. That's when I found my old logos, like I think 2006, 2007. Kinshasa B-Boy. No, it's not this one. I don't remember what cover I did, but I had like I was looking at all the old logos. I think the first Organized Bambino logo was a cow or something like that. I don't remember, but yeah. But yeah, in the beginning it was Organized Bambino, and then and actually we had Organized Players was our crew, and from Organized Players you had 4 groups. So you had my sister Ikomba, you had Hamilton, you had me, and then you have a group called Organize. So Mike and Philly turned organized players into Organize, and me, I turned organized players into Organized Bambino. And then after that, when everybody start going their way, I turn it into Sushi Raw. Question pas facile, mais je sais que tu as pensé les deux, mais si tu devrais choisir, Korg ou Roland. Do you believe in selling your soul to be rich? Listen, no. And I would be rich at this time. To give you an example, I think I told this story before. I went to, it was not Skyrock, it was another radio in France, but it was big at that time. I think it was, I'm not sure if it was Bruno, the CEO, I don't remember. But in 98, I was at the radio, and they told me I had to change a few things in my songs. I had to sing in French first of all, and then I have to change the guitars here and there, and I have to give away a few of the rights, and in exchange I would play 10 times a day. And listen, that was big. It was Ado FM. It was, listen, I don't remember the name of the radio, but they really told me that if I changed my stuff, I was going in. And the people from Sony, they were like, yo, perfect. Like, and me, I was like, oh, hell no. I ain't changing shit. And who you think you are to tell me that I have to change my stuff? And then the guy just told me, yeah, well, in this case, you will play nowhere. And yeah, I played nowhere. And I got really blackballed from French radio. And while my boys, Organized, were exploding on French radio, me, I was completely cut from entering radio, TV, etc. Because these people, when they block you, they all call each other, and then it's over. And yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna climb the mountain by myself, step by step. And I don't care if I don't have any support for French radio. I'm gonna connect directly to the DJs. I'm gonna use the internet. At that time, nobody knew what the internet was, and here I am. So you see. Bonne nuit, poulette. How did you meet Soumia, and how was the making of her awesome first album? So I met Soumia so she had a single with Ronald Rubinel in 2001 called Temps pour Temps with Talina, and so I heard about her, but I was not really. But I worked already with her management, MGTX. They hired me from some shows, and one day I was doing a compilation. So I'm not sure if this is how I met her or if I met her before. I'm not sure. But we were doing a compilation called, it was not Caribbean Soul. I think I was doing a compilation for Pastel Records where I was doing some beats and some songs. And I produced a song for her. I think I met her before, but I'm not sure how, when. But as my memory goes, that one time we had that song that we were recording, and Per Lama was doing the chorus and she was doing the lead vocals, and I was producing a song for her. It was for a compilation. I don't remember what compilation, but I remember that I was doing this compilation, and so we worked together at that time. So we did that song. I don't even know if this song is online. I don't remember, but it was Yeah, it was for compilation, I don't know. But so she came to the studio of Ronald Rubinel, Latitude 101, and we recorded that song, and it was a cool experience. She was cool, so we kept in touch, but nothing special. After that, I went to London with Linsha, and I was telling Linsha that, hey, I want to do a Zouk album with a girl, and I mean, I discovered you, so I believe it should be you. And I had a deal after doing Caribbean Soul with Ronald Rubinel where we would do 50-50. He brings the studio, I bring the project, the artist, and we do 50-50, and he sells them to etc. So he told me, hey, who you want to work with? And I told him, well, listen, let's start with Linsha. And I said, yeah, that's a great idea. So I started working on an album with a few beats. I started doing a few Candy Zouk beats, a few instrumentals. And we go to London to do a show for because I think Mélanger was number one. So I do a show in London with Linsha, and then the next day we had a show somewhere north of France. And then in the train back, we had like 4 hours in the train, and I made her listen to some beats, and I explained to her the whole plan. We're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna do an album that mixes, because back in the days you had Cap Virgin albums, you had Zouk albums, and then you had compa albums. And I said, listen, I want to do an album where I mix Zouk, Candy Zouk, Kizomba, Cabo Love. At that time we were calling it Cabo Love, and a little bit of compa all together. And we're gonna do this number of tracks, and we're gonna do it like this, and we're gonna record there, and we're gonna do this. Do you want to be the artist? And Linsha told me, oh yeah, I would love to, let's do it. And so I start working. I think I start working for a few weeks. I start having like a beginning of the album. So I produce Mes Sentiments, I produced I don't remember what songs I produced, but I had like, usually when I do an album with an artist, I decide the universe, and then I start working on, you know, all the instrumentals. So I had like a few instrumentals already, and the goal was to produce this with Ronald Rubinel and to launch that. And so that was 2002, and I think at that time I introduced Linsha to Passy because he needed a girl to sing a chorus for a song. So I introduced her, and I think Passy was about to have his own label, and his manager was becoming the CEO of Warner Music. So a few people were talking to Linsha to do, instead of doing a Zouk career, to go into rap R&B and do something more national and sign to a big label. So I remember we had a tour. It was me, Linsha, Soumia, and Lord City, and DJ Jairo. And we had a big tour. So we were supposed to all go to a big bus and then do like 10 cities around France. And the day before, Linsha comes to my house and she's like, yeah, you know, I believe that I want to do this. I don't know if I want to do Zouk. I might want to do R&B and blah, 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 blah. And I have these proposals and I'm going to do this. So, you know, I think I'm going to do something else and I'm not going to work with you on the album. And I was like, oh, bummer. But I was like, hey, listen, if you prefer, like, if you have opportunities to signing in a big record label, I don't even have a record label, so Okay, I mean, I understand. So I ended up with it was not an album, but it was the beginning of a project. So I had a folder with a few beats that I wanted to do her album. And so I end up with the beginning of a project and no artist. So I was a little disappointed, but hey, it is what it is. We go on tour, and while we are going on tour, I'm always there chilling with Soumia, because Soumia is very gangster. You know, she's very, I mean, back in the day, she was very street. So we were always laughing, me and Soumia. So we in the bus stop talking always, da 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 da, ha ha ha, whatever. And her manager, Martial, tells me, hey, why don't you sign artists? And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm actually working on my label, and I'm working on the ideas of how I'm gonna do and who I'm gonna do with. And I think I didn't want to work with Rubinel anymore. So I didn't know exactly how I was gonna do my label, but I knew I wanted to work with artists and produce artists. And he tells me, what about Soumia? And I was like, Soumia? I was like, yeah, do you believe that people will accept like a Congolese producer producing a Moroccan girl doing Zouk with a Cameroonian manager? And he was like, yeah, why not? I was like, yeah, that's true, why not? And then I was like, you know what? That might be an idea. And I was like, yeah, bro, let's do it. So I was like, you know what? That could actually be a good idea. She looks great. She sings. She writes well. She writes very well. But how do we work? And then Martial told me, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much. I'm coming to your question soon. And he told me, why don't you want to work with Section Zouk, Harold Sangamalon? I was like, so I worked with Harold in 2001 on tour. We went on tour together, and I actually liked the way we worked, but it was just on tour. He hired me to perform a month in Martinique. And I was like, that might be a good idea. So we went to sit down with the Soumia project. We didn't have nothing, not a song, not a demo, nothing. He just told me, and I remember I worked with him. He bought beats for Sonia Dersion's second album. So I went there with Martial and Soumia, and Harold asked me, hey, how much is it gonna cost? And I was like, well, you have a studio? And he was like, yeah. I said, I have beats. I said, yeah, let's do 50-50. And he was like, yeah, what do you bring to the table? I said, I bring all the beats. They said, but you're going to do all the beats? I said, yeah, I'm going to do all the beats. And I told him I just need somebody to play the guitars. And he told me, yeah, Thierry Delaney. And I said, yeah, in some songs I might need live bass. He told me that he had a few people. And I told him I need an engineer to record, and I need another engineer to mix. Because at that time I didn't know how to record myself, and I didn't know how to mix. And he said, okay, it's gonna cost us that much for recording. That's gonna cost us that much for mixing. Plus it's gonna cost us that for guitars. Then it's gonna cost us this amount for chorus, to do all the choruses. So we're gonna call Valérie les Sœurs Tribord. And then he told me, okay, what else? I said, that's it? And he was like, wait a minute, who's gonna do the drums? I said, no, I'm gonna program everything. But who's gonna play the keyboard? Me. Who's gonna, the bass? Me. But I'm gonna do everything. He was like, wow. And he was like, wait a minute, so we can do the whole album like with, he used to pay like 50,000 to do an album. And my budget to do Soumia's album was like 5,000. And he was like, what? And he was like, you have other projects like this? I said, well, listen, if we work well together, I have Eligio, ABG, I got my own stuff, but let's start with Soumia and see what goes. And we recorded the album. And the first song we did was Mes Sentiments, Rendez-moi. When he heard those two songs, he was like, oh shit. And listen, the same year we did my album, Soumia's album, Eligio's album, and we made him millions of euros. So that's how we started working together. But this was 20 years ago, so, but more or less. All right. What is the next question? Damn, this goes fast. Look, it's almost an hour. Si tu te souviens des noms des albums de qui souhaite, lequel tu le plus aimé? Okay, qui souhaite. My favorite album is the album name Qui souhaite. Wait. No, that's not true. That's not the one. Forget it. Make It Last Forever. Make It Last Forever. I love Make It Last Forever and Get Up On It. Those two albums are amazing from Qui souhaite. What up, Tome? Thank you again for the super chat. Yeah, I think it was Ado. Who is the Zouk artist that is doing great right now? I gotta tell you, I have no idea. I don't check the market. Probably, I know that Princess and Faniji are doing a lot of shows. From what I see online, I think Kim is doing great. I think Kim is doing the greatest. Listen, all you have to do to know, you go to Spotify and you look how many people are listening to people. That's it. I think Kim has. Let me go to Spotify. That's easy if you want to know who's doing well. So if you look at Fanny G, for example, you will see that she has almost 500 people listening to her every month. So she's doing great. Look, En Créa Ton Port has 28 million streams. Even if all this money is going to Harold Sangamalo, she probably does a lot of shows from those songs. The only thing is, she needs to do new songs. Let me see, Princess Lover, how many people listen to her every month? 161. That's less. And she has a new song, Ma Vie. But of course, her iconic songs are still there. But I think Kim is on top of all these people. Oh, that's not the same Kim. That's not the right Kim. Oh, there's a lot of Kim. Let me see. Kim. This is the one. You see, Kim has 700,000 people monthly, and she has like this song. She embraced the new generation, and she has like this song that has 35 million streams. She has a 5 with Aya Nakamura, 5 million streams. So I think, those three are doing great. And then of course you have me. I'm not so bad. If you look at how many people listen to me every month, there's 1 million. So I'm still on top of the game. It is what it is. I saw your website in 2003. That was fire to see it like back in the days. Did you use those websites that go back in time to see the website? Yeah, I think I still have the elements from my website back in the days. Tome is saying Leaving out Nigeria, what is your top 10 African artists? Top 10. Okay, I wouldn't say top 10 because I don't have a selection, but my top 10 artists other than Nigerian artists are Oliver Ngoma, Manu Lima, Fali Ipupa, of course. Who else do I love? Their music coming from the continent. I love so much music from so many people. I have a playlist of my favorite songs from. Let me see. Oh, I also love from South Africa. I really love the work of what's his name? Body Nice, Kwebur. Love what he does. Black Coffee, of course, that's all South Africa. I love the work of some older stuff that I love Prince Eyango. I don't know if you know Prince Eyango, that Sanfant Thomas from Cameroon. What else? A lot of old songs. I mean, so many artists. The continent is so rich in terms of what is coming, but I don't have like a definitive like this just without thinking, because I'm fan of songs, not of artists usually. So I have songs that for me are iconic, but I don't have like an artist where I'm like, oh, this is my guy. So that's why it's a little hard for me to. Are you gonna write a book? You have so much to say. Listen, I don't even know if writing books is still a thing of. I'd rather do a movie. I'd rather do a docu-series or like a 10 episode movie about my life whenever I have the means to do it. But yeah, I could write a book too. Thanks. Yeah, it's funny when I tell Linsha this story, she's like, no, that's not true. And when I tell Soumia, she's like, no, that's not true. That was not Linsha's album. I'm like, I know what is true. I remember that I had a project. It was, I had a folder, and in the beginning, yeah, and yeah, but it was not like if Linsha already recorded songs. So it was really like the early beginning. I just had a folder with some beats, and then very early she changed her mind and she went another route. So it was not like I took Linsha's album and I turned it into Soumia's album. It's not like this. And then with when I sat down with Soumia to work, of course I took what I already started working on, but we sat down really to decide the universe that we were gonna do. So it's really a work that we did together. We chose everything together with Soumia. It was like it's actually one of the best artists that I work with. One of the best artists that I work with. No, overall, she's the best artist that I work with. MK Prod is saying, quel est ton souhait? Tu préfères que le Candy Zouk se transmet de génération en génération ou bien que ça s'arrête sur Kaysha? Bro, I believe music is for everybody. Moi, la musique appartient à tout le monde, donc non. Listen, when I was listening to the beats that you sent me, I was smiling. I was like, wow, like it's crazy to know that some people are really doing songs with your style as a genre. As a creator, this is crazy. No, it's beautiful for me. If people know what it is, name it the way they should, and make it go from generation to generation, yeah, of course. Comment je vais dire non? That's the ultimate ego boost. Listen, Rendez-moi, that song, crazy. When this song came out, people went nuts. We all know how good you are when it comes to business. One important business advice. No emotions in business. Listen, I believe that every time I took a wrong business decision, it was an emotional one. Never take emotional decision when it comes to business. And even listen, for example, right now, my song Something Going On is generating a lot of money. It's making 3 million stream every month. That's crazy. I'm trying to go to 5, etc. Okay. And there's a lot of labels contacting me, trying to see if they can do a remix, if they can work on something, etc. And personally, I'm trying to not say to myself, haha, for 20 years I've been working by myself and nobody helped me and nobody interviewed me, nobody invite me for interviews and this and that, and nobody from all these big labels contacted me, asked me for beats, etc. And now you want to work with me, right? And I could feel like this, but when I look at the emails, I leave these emotions. I feel them, but I leave them on the side. I feel them and I don't reply. And I'm like, yeah, look at all these people. Look at all these parasites trying to come and profit from my work when they always close the door to me, right? But then I'm like, all right, let's talk business. What do you propose? How much money you have? How much money you're gonna make me? So no emotions in business. That's for real. This is, in my opinion, the number one thing. If you don't know your business, you're gonna act emotional and you're gonna take all the wrong decisions because you're gonna not work with somebody because you don't like them or because this or because that or you're gonna hire people because he's a friend or he's an ex. Nah. Listen, even when I work with my wife on a business, if I find a deal for her, I tell her straight, here's how we're gonna work, and I'm gonna take 20% of all the money you're gonna make. And but I'm your wife. Not when we talk business. When we talk business, we are business partners. I invest this time, money, XYZ. I'm taking 20%. I handle her YouTube channel, take 20% before I pay her. That's how I work, and it's really important when you are in business to never forget that, because emotions will cloud your judgment. Then after that, like there's a million, depending on what side of the business, there's also a million advices that I could give, but I believe that this is the most important one. Don't, the same way you don't mix business and pleasure, it's because of the emotions. So try to always have like really logical and factual decisions when it comes to your business. As you saw, I love physical music. I have all CDs, single vinyls from your first 2 albums. But did you release physical singles from your 3rd album? All I got is this, but never found a physical copy of the 3rd album. Every album until number 7, they came out as CDs. I think the last one that came as a CD is Raw Like Sushi. After that, I went full digital. So you can still find them, I think, on Amazon. You can order them on maybe Fnac. But I mean, I don't know where the rest of his. I'm asking myself, is Section Zouk still have copies of the first albums? Tu es passé à travers ma grande question de messages plus haut. Oh yeah, did I? Where was it? Oh, tu vas devoir la reposer parce que I don't know. I have all the Sushiro CDs, even the compilation SR Music. I love Kizomba and other playlists. That was so hard to find. Wow. Listen, CDs are a thing of the past. I know you love physical stuff, but yeah, me, I moved past that in 2008. So yeah, maybe one day I'll do vinyls and CD versions of stuff. But in terms of a business conversation, it's kind of not worth it because it's gonna cost you more to create 500 CDs and you're not gonna sell them or vinyls. You're not gonna sell them because most people, they have a phone for 10 euros. They have access to everything. So it really has to make sense. Unless somebody tells me, hey, listen, I will pay the fabrication of one. And I don't know how much it costs, but if somebody told me, hey, listen, let's say it costs 200 to fabricate one, and somebody tells me, hey, I'll pay you 300 to get me like physical versions of XYZ and I make some profit, I'll say, okay, I'll do one just for you. An exclusive model with a special cover art with written 001, like engraved, like an exact copy. I understand, like some people really like physical objects. Me, I never cared about that. So I'm not, I don't have an emotional thing with physical stuff. Actually, where are my CDs? I have to put them somewhere. Yeah, anyway, yeah. The song that introduced me to you is Si Tu Veux de Moi. How did you come out with that crazy beat? Si Tu Veux de Moi, I think it was a time where compa was it the time that C'est Pas Pour Dat was working? I think it was a time where compa was in, there's a cycle in what is trendy, right? So at that time, I think 2004, compa was really like starting to make a comeback out of it. Sometimes it's Zouk, sometimes it's compa, sometimes it's Kizomba. At that time, it was compa, and why do I hear vocals? Oh, that's my fault. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. As I was saying, yeah, compa was really the thing. There was a lot of music from Haiti or from Haitians from Miami that was in, and I was like, oh, I would love to do something that sounds compa, but at the same time still sounds modern. And I think Nichols did that beat. Let me see. We're talking about Si Tu Veux de Moi, right? Si Tu Veux de Moi. I think the beat was done by Frédéric Wurtz and Nichols, if I remember well. Show credits. Oh, it's not there. Yeah, I think it's Frédéric Wurtz, who's actually... Frédéric Wurtz is a French guy, white guy. He produced half of the Zouk songs on Section Zouk. And I believe that he did that beat with Nichols together. And I told him, hey, I want something that sounds like this, with a little bit of compa stuff. And yeah, Nichols and Frédéric Wurtz did that beat. And then I wrote the song. And I think it's the first song that I did where I was singing. The rest I was rapping before that. So I didn't come out with that beat. Were you good at coupé décalé dance? Listen, I stopped dancing 30 years ago. When I have the conversation with my future wife too. Good luck. What up, Frankie? Welcome to the Q&A session. If you have any question about anything, I have answers for everything. Who would tell that the CD would be old technology nowadays? Listen, before CDs was vinyls. Before that, it was tapes, and before that was tambour. So listen, it is what it is. Yuri is saying, bonsoir, bro. Please tell us. Bonsoir. My first introduction to you was Bounce Baby. How did you come up with that idea? You killed that. Iconic times. Thank you so much. All right. Bounce Baby. So, crazy story. In 1997, I'm on tour as a rapper and dancer for Jean-Michel Rotin. And we are doing an album called Preview, Zouk is Dead. So it was our group, me, Jean-Michel Rotin, organized, Rokenza, and Christian. So we're working on that album, and we are, we all creating beats. So the thing was like Jean-Michel Rotin was doing beats, the organizers were doing beats, I was doing beats, and the goal was to do a new genre of Zouk, like Zouk mixed with R&B, mixed with Brazilian music, mixed with African music. And we were all doing beats all the time. We were all living in a house in Pointe-à-Pitre in Guadeloupe, and we were creating beats. And some beats were going in the album, some others we were keeping for ourselves, some others were doing for the next one. And one day I called everybody in the studio and I told them, hey, I made this. And Bounce Baby is a hip-hop song. It's really a hip-hop track. The only difference is that there's a Zouk sample. But if you listen to the beat, it's and then, you have the Kassav sample on top of it. And I did the beat. Listen, it was not even 97. I think it was in 96. I played the beat for everybody, and in the crew, everybody was from either Guadeloupe or Martinique. I think most of us were from Guadeloupe. I was the only one from Congo, and Portugal. And I played them the beat, and everybody, listen, Jean-Michel Rotin, the organize, everybody is like, the managers, the guy from the studio, everybody's like, nah. Ça, on touche pas. No. Kassav, you cannot touch. I was like, what's wrong with these guys? What's wrong with you guys? And they were like, no. This, you cannot touch this song. I was like, why? And they were like, because this is patrimoine. No, you can't. And me, I was like, but that's the point. You take stuff that existed and you turn it into something new. That's actually what hip hop is. People are using James Brown songs, Marvin Gaye songs, like iconic drums and samples. And instead of using the stuff that the American use, we're gonna use our stuff. And I remember at that time, the first album of Wyclef came out, Carnival. And also Puff Daddy's album with Maze. When they call me down, yeah, nobody hold me down. Oh no, this was at the time, the videos, the songs, the samples they were using. I was like, listen, we're gonna do the same thing that Puff Daddy is doing, but we're gonna do it using our music. We're not gonna sample Americans, we're gonna sample African music, Cuban music, Caribbean music. And everybody told me, hell no. So I was pissed off, I was disappointed, and I kept my beat, and I told them, yeah, you guys don't understand it. We left it like this. And a year after, I was living in Cayenne in Guyane. So I did a year there in 97, and I was recording my solo album. And I remember that as I was going through my beats in my computer, I opened that beat and I was like, oh, yes. And I start recording that song, and I recorded Bounce Baby, everything. You better bounce, baby. Yeah. Better bounce, baby. Yo, it's the Worldwide Chico coming to your Caribbean CD or any Pueblo, etc., etc. And it was a rap song. And I remember that my mentor and everybody that came to the studio to listen to the song, everybody told me, Kassav, nah, bro, you can't touch that. That's sacred. And me, I was like, what's wrong with all these people? And I was frustrated, but and they were like, nah, we don't know if we're going to keep this for the album. And me, I was like, no, I think I'm going to keep it for the album. And then I was a little sad. And I remember that Studio 3S in Cayenne, the owner of the studio has his grandma. She was 90 something years old. She was from St. Lucia, and she was always like, they would just leave her on her chair to take some air during the day outside of the studio. And I remember that she would never move. She would sometimes I was like, is she alive? She would just never move. She was just there the whole day, and then at night, at the end of the day, they will bring her in or whatever. And I remember that the only time in my life that I saw that woman move was when I played Bounce Baby. I was frustrated that nobody understood that this song was a revolution and everybody was scared of the revolution. And then at a point, I look at her while I'm playing the song, and she's like this. She's like, and I was like, oh, fuck everybody. Fuck all of y'all. I don't care. I'm doing this song. And I did the song. I finished the song. I mixed it. And I remember that's when Sony Music was creating this big label, buying a lot of small world music labels and called Club Music. And the CEO was the ex-manager of Kassav, and they asked me to produce some songs from Tanya Saint-Val. And when they came to listen to the songs I did for Tanya Saint-Val's album Secret, I did 8 songs. I was playing Bounce Baby in the studio, and when he heard it, he went crazy. The next day, he proposed me to sign to Sony, and the rest is history. But listen, everybody was against this song. Trust me, everybody. These guys were crazy. Oh, I told them, fuck all y'all. But normally, that was an album for Jean-Michel Rotin's. The song was for Jean-Michel Rotin's project, Zouk is Dead. And it ended up in my album, and we sold 100,000 CDs, gold, in France and around. Bounce Baby. How did you come up with the concept idea of Diamantero, Mazel Tov, Jana Mari, and Angel City 2? I was trying to branch out of Zouk, but at that time it was hard to do different styles because people would just say Kaysha is Zouk music. But I also wanted to continue doing other things, and After my second album, I created Angel City so I could do hip hop beats. And then after that, I created the rest for every genre. Every time I had a new genre that I wanted to do, I invented a name. So listen, I had like Kaysha was the money maker, but then I had Angel City for hip hop beats. I had Lorenzo Rafael for I don't remember what rap songs. I had like Diamantero for everything Afro house, etc. I had Janamari for house music. I had Davagani for synthwave. Then I created Monsieur de Shada for Afro house, but I also had something de la Fuente, and I had a lot of names. I wanted a name for each genre, and I wanted to try every genre. But then at a point I was like, it's becoming too complicated. So last year, I think, that's when I turned everything to Kaysha. Took a lot of time, but actually I'm working now on the next Diamantero album, Monsieur Shada album, that I'm gonna mix with Kaysha. It's gonna be a Kaysha album, but with, so I'm gonna do concept albums. So probably I'm gonna do Kaysha, and the title of the album will be Diamantero Mazel Tov, and this is gonna be, and that's I'm gonna continue to do it under the name Kaysha, but I'm also gonna do five songs EPs for Candy Zouk. I'm going to have Candy Zouk Volume 1, Volume 2, where it's just going to be exclusive Candy Zouk music that I'm going to do. So yeah, I have a lot of things. Listen, when you make enough money that you're free to do what you want to do, that's when the fun returns. What else? Listen, that album was crazy. Carnivals of Wyclef inspired us. You have no idea. It gave us, we said to ourselves, it's possible. Let me turn off the AC. I'm freezing here. Master Electronic, what up, brother? How you doing? Oh, it's midnight. We're almost done. All right. Ask your last questions, because I'm gonna. Hey, how is it in the DRC, brother? Don't. Thanks, but don't come back with babies. The memories. Yes, I'm back in the gym. Nah. I'm working on it. But I didn't take any kilogram during the summer. That's beautiful. Aujourd'hui, Kaysha, c'est quoi tes projets dans le domaine de la musique? As-tu des ambitions en politique? Ok, les projets, I just talked about it. Les ambitions en politique, non, j'en ai pas. J'ai grandi dans la politique, j'ai des politiciens tout autour de moi. Je pense que je serai un bon politicien, mais je pense que la politique n'est pas bonne. Donc, that would be a waste of time. I'd rather do business. For me. For now. I might be president in 10 years, 15 years, who knows? This is inspirational, motivating, behind the success. Thank you so much. Frankie is saying, you and Nichols made me love Zouk music. You both revolutionized Zouk. Do you see yourself making a big move like what PDD is doing with Love Records to give a push or resurrecting the genre? Listen, to answer your question, I have a song called Something Going On, which is a Candy Zouk that is making 3 million streams every month, that is being listened all around the world. So I'm actually doing it. As we speak, a lot of people are discovering the sounds of Candy Zouk, even if they call it compa or they call it kizomba. I don't personally care, but a lot of people are dancing to these songs. And now I'm about to do remixes of the song with people from here and there, and then I'm gonna have all my projects. And you know, the fact that I'm doing singles every week, if you go to you subscribe to me on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever, you will listen to all the music I do. So I'm doing my part. Reeves is saying, when is Soumia coming to the show? That is a very good question. If it was not 1 a.m. in Paris, I would call her and ask her. But it's true that I already asked her and she said it was too late back then. But now that I have my office, I might do a special show on a Sunday and invite her like at 6 p.m. and do a good show with her. Blessings. Valdir, what up? What do you like to do in the mornings? Watch YouTube videos. My people, listen. It is midnight. We've been here for an hour and a half. So listen, I hope you guys enjoyed this special Rentrée Q&A. And listen, don't hesitate whenever you want to ask for more Q&As. We can do this from time to time. It's always fun to do it. And listen, Sunday is another day. I'm gonna see, maybe, listen, I'm trying to see if Sunday I might try to do a show like earlier, like afternoon show. I don't know, 4:30 p.m. or 4 p.m., something like that. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna try, depending on what I have to do, because my daughter is starting school next week, so I might not have the time to do it. But if I don't start early, like 4 p.m., I will be at this time, which is 10:30 for me. I don't know what time it is for you. I even forgot to ask everybody to put the flag. So we're gonna do it during the outro. I want everybody to put the flag of where they're watching from and what time it is right now. But listen, if you enjoyed the show today, listen, keep your questions. Maybe I'll try to answer to you privately, or keep them for the next one. Write down your questions. And if you enjoyed our conversation, and if you enjoy the show like at this time earlier, make sure that you put some rainbows in the chat. And I'm gonna leave you with my latest track that just came out. It's a collaboration with an artist from South Africa called Boon Shapa, and it's a track called Dust of Angels. It's some banging Afro house joint. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed the show. And I will see you all Sunday for the next episode of Club Shada. I think I see that starting 2 hours before. I have a lot of new people, so I love it. Everybody, to make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Actually, we will talk about it next week, but we now have passed 250,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel, 250,000. This is crazy. But we'll talk about all this next time. And Shada gang, I will see you when I see you, which is Sunday. Bless.
Searched up for this body.